In Australian law, silence can be in some circumstances misleading or deceptive, particularly where there is a reasonable expectation the relevant information will be disclosed. Under the Australian consumer law, conduct can be misleading not only through what is said, but also through what is left unsaid. While silence alone may not automatically be misleading, it can become so where the surrounding circumstances create a duty or expectation to speak. This often arises in commercial dealings where one party has knowledge of a material fact that the other party reasonably expects to be disclosed. Courts assess whether silence is misleading by looking at the overall context, including the relationship between the parties, the nature of the transaction, and whether one party has created a misleading impression that is not corrected. For example, if a party makes a partial disclosure that conveys a false or incomplete impression, failing to disclose the full picture may amount to misleading conduct. Similarly, when one party knows that the other is operating under a mistaken assumption that is fundamental to the transaction, remaining silent in some circumstances may be considered misleading. There are also situations where silence can be misleading because of a duty to disclose, such as in fiduciary relationships or where statutory obligations apply. In these cases, failing to disclose relevant information can give rise to liability even without any positive misrepresentation. If conduct is found to be misleading or deceptive, the consequences can be significant. Courts may award damages, grant injunctions, or set aside transactions depending on the circumstances of the loss suffered. Because whether silence is misleading depends heavily on the specific facts, the surrounding context, and the expectations between the parties. These issues are often complex and not always obvious at first glance. Careful legal analysis is required to determine whether the duty to disclose exists and whether the conduct crossed the line into misleading and deceptive behavior. Understanding how silence operates in this context is critical for businesses and individuals alike, particularly when entering into negotiations or transactions where incomplete information may affect decision-making. Contact us today for a free 30-minute consultation with one of our experienced team of commercial litigation lawyers, and let us help you protect your rights.